Hello everyone, here G Armadenta, Federica Vegas, and Scott Johnson, and we are discussing the book Switch, How to Change Things When Change is Hard by Chip and Dan Heath.
We all know how hard it is to achieve change, but this book really helps with practical techniques to actually get the change you want.
This is Juan. He works at Bank America. He is worried because the bank has a very low level of consciousness about sustainability. He dreams about achieving change and actually getting Bank America to be a green bank, but it seems so hard. For what it is almost impossible. We have experts to help Juan achieve change using the Switch framework. Juan will begin with a goal of getting the company to recycle paper because this will be a great first step to get the company moving towards sustainable development. First of all, our expert will explain the Switch framework.
Hello Juan. The Switch framework is composed of three fundamental parts involved in making change happen.
First, the rational side that we call the rider. This side thinks long-term, is a visionary and a clever tactician. It provides the planning and direction for change. But it is over-analytical, has limited energy, needs direction, and paralysis in the face of ambiguity and choice. Second, we have the elephant that is the emotional side. It moves by emotion and provides the energy to fight for change. But it needs motivation and confidence and looks for instant gratification. Both are fundamental. Change is not only about understanding, analyzing and planning. It also involves influencing emotions. And the third part of change is the path. We must shape the path to make the trail for the elephant easier to go by.
Now that one knows about the Switch framework, we can guide him step by step through it to achieve paper recycling in Bank America. Well Juan, what do you think about the Switch framework? Are you ready to create change in Bank America?
I think it is great. But could you please help me to apply each part of the framework to my company's change project?
Of course. Let's begin with the rational side by directing the writer. First of all, you must follow that bright spots. This is to investigate what's working and clone it. I advise you to look for the employees who have found new ways of working that involve less paper and share their stories. Then you have to script the critical moves. Think in terms of specific behavior and give people specific steps they can take. You can advise the employees of Bank America to use less paper in their everyday actions by filing electronically and writing and editing online. And you have to point to the destination, because change becomes easier when you know where you're going, and why it is worth it. You can paint the vision of a future with less paper and connect the future to becoming a more sustainable organization.
This is awesome. You have given me great ideas. But what about the emotional side? Can you help me to motivate the elephant?
It's my pleasure. The emotional side is very important too. You can start by finding the feeling, because knowing something isn't enough to cause change, so you must make people feel something in order to get them to act. You can create visuals of how many trees are cut down annually because of the reliance on paper and share that number with pictures of the cut trees. Then you have to shrink the change, so it no longer spooks the elephant. With this you will be accomplishing smaller goals and then leverage those to build momentum. You can set a target of how much paper consumption and recycling they should reach monthly and keep track of how they are moving closer to it. And you can work with the elephant by growing your people. You have to cultivate a sense of identity and give the employees confidence and strength to act, instilling in them a growth mindset. You have to get your employees to feel as sustainable development promoters by getting them on board on saving trees. If you get them to make a small change like recycling, use less paper, this will motivate them and make them think of themselves as someone who can change.
Wow! Now I am ready for change. These are so many tools.
I am so happy that you are motivated. But you cannot forget about the path, that is also very important.
Oh, okay. I think I got carried away.
That's okay. But let's talk about the path. We must work to create an appropriate environment for change. You have to first tweak the environment, because when the situation changes, the behavior changes. You can introduce structural elements that constrain the use of paper, like making printers scarce. You can continue by building habits. This is important because when behavior is habitual, it's free, it doesn't tax the writer. You should promote building habits by using action triggers to enable change, like placing a sign to remind employees to print double-sided. And you can work to rally the herd. Since behavior is contagious, you can help spread it using peer pressure and peer perception. You can work setting targets to reduce the number of paper consumption and then visually show how the number changes over time as people change their behaviors, but break this down departmentally so you can leverage social influence.
Now I'm really ready. This is so helpful. Thank you so much. Now change is going to be much easier than I thought.
Juan has now become a sustainability champion pushing for change. He has placed the company fully in the awakening phase of the APT framework. Thanks to his work, sustainability is now on the organization's agenda, and he has achieved little victories that have broken the initial inertia and has grown the numbers of people vocally in support. Also thanks to Juan's work, a sustainability professional has been funded to help organize and coordinate sustainability efforts in Bank America. We now know that even though change is very hard, if we take into considerations all the factors that play into it, rationality, emotions and the environment, we can achieve it almost painlessly. Thank you E117 classmates and fellow change agents of the future.